Milady. If you're wondering why I am wearing this outrageous hat and have a bright blue shirt on and crazy makeup, it's because I am still feeling celebratory because last night I attended the Cowboy Carter tour at MetLife Stadium. And I think that Beyonce is the greatest performer who has ever lived. I actually would say I genuinely think she's better than Michael Jackson. Like, I might take flack for saying that. I just think that there is nobody who, living or dead, puts on a better show than her. I don't think that there's anyone. Oh my God, my hair. I don't think that there's literally anybody, any artist I can think of who has a better understanding of the theater of a live show and can contextualize themselves in both culture and in our country's history better than she can. She's like singular, and why I'm even bothering to argue this case, I don't know, because I'm pretty sure everyone already agrees with me. But yes, I saw Beyonce. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I say that literally before every single video. I don't know why. It's not like I have like a established thing that I do every week, but this video is not going to have a script, and I am going to just kind of be off the cuff talking about some celebrities that I've met over the years and my interactions with them. I will say I'm not going to be able to fit everybody into one video, so if you guys enjoy this video and you want to hear more stories about more people, just let me know, because I literally have hundreds of stories about meeting celebrities that I definitely can't fit into one video. But just to give you some context, I'm a born and raised New Yorker, always been pop culture obsessed, and I guess I just had very little friends and a lot of time on my hands, but I spent a lot of my, adolescence basically like scouring the city and going to stage doors and going to meet and greets and like special events and stuff like that were only really happening in New York because I'm crazy. And I will say, like, I started doing this. Oh my God, my pimples. I started doing this when I was like 13, and that is probably way too young. I would be 13 years old and like riding the subway to Times Square at like 2 o'clock in the morning to like wait on lines. I would go to stage doors mad early. I actually ended up, and this, we'll circle back on this later, but having like a bit of a relationship with the bodyguards or the security at Good Morning America because they were like confused. It was all like 50-year-old men who were graphers, which, if you don't know what a grapher is, they are like 90% evil. Some of them are good people, and then 90% of them are like pure evil. And they're people who get autographs from celebrities to resell on the internet. But yeah, a lot of those men are like old, gruff, grizzled, like big men. And then it would just be me at like 14. And so I think security was like always kind of looking out for me. But that being said, I did kind of like strike up a friendship with some of those guards in my time doing this. Now that I have a full-time job, it's sort of stopped me from being able to do this because you have to really have free time like during your 9 to 5, which obviously I do not have anymore. So I thought, why not share some of the stories of people I've met and my experiences with them and what it took for me to meet them. And then if you guys want to like hear any more, I can give you some examples of other people that I won't be able to get to in this video. But yeah, let's get started. So I thought I'd start with one of the kindest, like most positive, wonderful people I've ever met in terms of celebrities I've met, and that is the Queen, Miss Ariana Grande. And you can't see because the camera is facing away, but up there on the other side of the camera, I have my framed Sweetener poster. On the other side of this dresser over here, I have an Ariana poster. I love her so much, and I have since she released The Way. Like, I watched Victorious, I think, like anybody else did, but I didn't really go, okay, who's this? Until she released The Way, and then I was like hooked and obsessed with her, and I've never fallen out of love with her. I literally have a necklace hanging over there that says Arianator in an infinity sign. Okay, so unless you are at the level of humiliation rituals of wearing a necklace like that, then, step off, because I love Ariana Grande. And I will say, by the way, this is so funny. I'm like looking, even as I'm filming this video, I'm filming it on my phone with my Ariana Grande phone case. I'm just contextualizing. I am a massive Ariana fan and she means a lot to me. And I've met her twice and I'm so happy that both times I met her did not. They say don't meet your heroes, but if it's Ariana Grande, I say go for it. So the first time I met her actually was when she was launching her first fragrance, Ari, iconic. Started that iconic like crystal bottle with the little palm on the side of it. I think she is hands down my favorite like celebrity fragrance auteur. I love her perfumes. I have so many, like even just over here, like on the side of my desk, I have my Mob blush, I have my Moonlight, I have my REM. She's excellent at fragrances. But it was announced that she was going to be doing a meet and greet at the 34th Street Macy's Herald Square. And so the way it was kind of promoted was like, you just have to be one of the first people to buy the Ari gift set. And if you buy it, then you get a pass to the meet and greet, which, like, in hindsight is kind of a steal because the full gift set was like $140, and a meet and greet with her at that time on the honeymoon tour, I'm pretty sure it was like $800. So, and that was like for a group meet and greet. So I feel that those of us who attended were lucky. So I went to Macy's at 9 o'clock in the morning and I walked in and I am confused because it's like the biggest store ever. And I'm like, can I have the RE gift set? And nobody knows what I'm talking about. And there's like a bunch of women speaking in a language that I didn't recognize. And I'm like, okay, I guess they're figuring it out. They hand me a gift set. I buy it. It was like 150 tax, like whatever. And then they're like, and now you can go upstairs, show them the receipt, and they will give you your credentials for the meet and greet. So I go upstairs and I'm on a line with a bunch of other teenage girls and I'm waiting. And when I go up to the booth, I give them my receipt and the guy looks very confused and he's like, and then he like asks his coworker something, and never a good sign, by the way. Everyone else just went up, showed their thing and got, anyway, he's confused, whatever. Eventually he just gives me the envelope that has everything. I have my credentials in it, my pass, my confirmation, all that stuff. And as I'm leaving, I look out the window and I see a line of people with tents, with sleeping bags being let in one at a time. And I realize that there's a huge line of people who camped overnight to get these meet and greet passes. And the guy was confused because I just came in the other door and bought it from the perfume section. And I didn't go through the line of the people selling them on the other side of the store. So it's like, technically I did what I was supposed to do. I like bought the gift set, but I think I didn't know I was cheating. I didn't know there was a line. I was very naive and I was 13 years old and I just walked in and I bought it from another section. And so I think that's why he was confused. But because I bought it, I don't think he could say anything. So I still do feel bad. Had I known there was a line, I would have gotten in it. I just genuinely didn't know and I kind of cheated the system. So, okay. I've got my VIP lanyards here. So basically, the main thing that you needed to get in was this, which is completely out of focus. Hello. It was, at the time, it had a thing on the bottom. So then once you were checked in with your wristband to meet her, they would rip it off to make sure you couldn't get in line twice. It says, Macy's welcomes Ariana Grande. So this was September 2015. So actually, I would have been 14. But yes, this was the lanyard. Memories. So the thing is, you had to get there at like 2 p.m. So I would have been in school. So my dad signed me out early so that I could go to Herald Square. He dropped me off. I got in this line. I was like the fourth or fifth one there. I kind of got there mad early, but it was because they said like, get there by this time. And to me, I've done this enough to know that get there at this time means get there an hour before this time, or you're going to have a shit experience. I got there early, got in the line. I was like the fourth or fifth one there. And I didn't realize this and they didn't tell us. It was a huge surprise, but they set up a stage where Ariana actually ended up performing like 3 or 4 songs. And I was in the front row, which was bananas. She did like Break Free, Bang Bang, all the hits at the time that she was like promoting. And I have no videos to corroborate my story because I took them all on Snapchat. And this is something that I have had to reckon with later in life, which is that I deleted my Snapchat, not even thinking about it, being like, I don't even use it anymore. Like, why do I have this? Delete. And I didn't even think to be like, do I have any memories on here that should be saved? So I can't even tell you how many moments in my life are gone with the wind, gone in the ether, because I just deleted my Snapchat on a whim. So no videos to corroborate my story, but I promise you I was front row and it was amazing. And I was in my glories and gagging and all of that. So they did this surprise concert, which was like a super duper extra bonus. And I was so happy. And then the way they did the meet and greet was they gave people numbers and wristbands from back to front. So like the people who got there first were the last to meet her because we were at the front for the concert. So they were like numbering people as they filed out, which I didn't mind because it wasn't even that many people, first of all, but also second of all, like as long as I get to meet her, I don't care in what order. I don't care if I'm first. I don't care if I'm last. If I get to meet her, I'm happy. And so they brought us upstairs and they had completely redone. If you know Macy's 34th, there's a restaurant called Stella 34 and they had basically like completely redone the restaurant to be Ari by Ariana themes. They had like a tattoo station, temporary tattoo station. They had cake pops, playing Ariana music. It was all purple and themed and it was a lot of fun. So they had a lounge where you could like hang out while you waited for your number to be called to go meet her. I will say it was a little awkward because I was there by myself and I was 14, so I was kind of like, well, like lollygagging around, but it would have been more fun with a friend. I think it was just a little like, okay, like what do I do with myself? Because I was all alone. Finally, my number is called. I literally was like the last group to meet her. I think I might have been like I said, since I was like fourth or fifth or something in line, then I was like that many away from the last person to meet her. And I go in and I'm shitting myself. First of all, like she is tiny. I know that like everybody knows that, but I just have to emphasize she was in like 6-inch heels and I was in flats and I was still taller than her. So, and for reference, I'm 5'9". So she is teeny tiny, very sweet. They were definitely like every meet and greet, the theme is always like rushing. They're always rushing you. Security, photographers, whoever, they're always rushing you. So I, go in and I know that I have to make the most of my time because if you don't talk, they're literally going to shove you out. So I was like just telling her, I really admire you. You inspire me. I love the way that you carry yourself. You give me confidence. I was telling her the way her work and presence connects with me. And I'm 14, so I'm sure it was not articulate at all. But I was also super nervous. And she was so sweet and she gave me a hug and she was like, how did I do all that? She was like, that was all inside you. I was like, okay. She was giving Elmo realness just in terms of like reassuring me, and it was everything. So we take our picture and she was wonderful and so sweet, and she was like, I love you, like you're so sweet, you're so cute. And I'm walking away because I know like I've already overstayed my welcome by saying anything to her because of how they want the meet and greet to be like, once you get your photo, bye. So I give her a hug and I'm just like, I love you very much, thank you for meeting me. And as I'm leaving and I'm getting my stuff from security and I'm walking out of the room, I feel her grab my wrist like this, and I turn around and she had moved away from the meet and greet spot actually, and she grabbed me on the way out and was like, I just want to tell you, don't let anybody fuck with you ever. Be exactly who you are, and if they don't like it, then fuck them. And I'm 14, so I was gagged the fuck down. And I don't know what exactly I said or did that made her want to jump out of line and, come and find me and spin me around and say that. It was truly not necessary, and she went out of her way to give me that advice and to be like on my team, and like I don't know, it was just, I can't explain it. I don't know what I said or did that made her want to be like, I'm on your team and I love you. But the fact that she did still is like one of my favorite moments, and I think a testament to her character. And I just feel like we had a like special moment and it was really sweet. So I am forever grateful for that moment. I think it was just like one of those things that you harken back to and it fuels you. I will also say, everybody was like, oh my God, I hope I didn't look so weird in my photo. Like, I was trying not to look too excited. It was too late for me, if you want to see my photo. Yeah. So that was the first time I met her. I also met her a second time. I met her at a regular meet and greet on the Dangerous Woman World Tour, which that was even faster because there were more people that she had to get through. And she was a doll. She was an angel. I told her, I walked in and I was like, I just wanted to be like, thank you for making music. You make me very happy. I think that's what I said. And then she cut me off and she went, oh my God, you look amazing. Like, she was like, thank you. Oh my God, you look amazing. Which when you're like, what, 16 is like, I was gagged. I was gagged down. I asked her if I could kiss her cheek for the photo. She said yes. Always ask consent, folks, before you do anything like that. And so I did it. I did like a little air kiss. I wasn't like fully planting one on her because, you know, germs and whatnot. So it was very nice of her to let me do that. And then I give her a hug and they're like, let's go. You know, like security is like, okay, you got your photo, like moving on. And I'm like leaving and I'm like, thank you so much, whatever. And she again grabs my arm 2 times. She didn't remember me from the first time. I should just make it very clear. It's just 2 times that she like was like, you, by the way, are an angel. That's what she said to me. You're an angel. And I was like, and I walked out and I burst into tears. So the second time was a little bit faster because it is like a concert meet and greet. She was running late. They are really rushing you at a concert meet and greet. Also had to meet Scooter Braun to go in, which is, at the time I didn't know that he was the devil's spawn. This was like a very long time ago, but now I'm like, this threat. The fact that I had to meet Scooter to meet Ariana, it's like having to, you know, solve a riddle with a troll to be able to cross the bridge. But point being, Ariana Grande, you are a saint. She's an angel. I love her very much. I still love her. I think I'll love her until the day I die. And everything that you hear about her being beloved and a saint and an angel is 100% true in my experience. So that's that. The next person I'm going to talk about is actually special because she is my favorite celebrity of all time. And I don't even just mean celebrity. She's probably like my favorite person, period, of all time. And that is Miss Selena Gomez. So anybody who knows me knows that Selena Gomez is very special to me. She's my favorite person of all time. Like literally, like she's my number one. I have loved her since I was 6 years old. I had like my first social media account was a Google Plus account that was a Selena Gomez fan page. That's how long I've loved her. I had a Google Plus fan page for her. I just think that she is such a unique talent, but also her character is something so special and rare, like pardon the pun, rare, but it is just like so singular to her, and she is so beloved by me. I really love Selena. She's my favorite person ever. So I have met her a few times. I will say though, like I have never been able to tell her exactly what she means to me, which is super disappointing. So the first time I met her was at a Coach meet and greet. It was free. They were just like the first however many people in line will get to meet her at the Coach flagship store on Fifth Avenue. I was 16 at this time. I showed up at like, they were like, you have to be here by 2 p.m. So I showed up at like 6 a.m. and I couldn't see. I think there were like 50 people in line. And I didn't know if I was going to make it until literally like noon. They started handing out the wristbands and I got the wristband guaranteed to meet her. And I just started sobbing on the line because she means so much to me and she's my idol. And Selena is like everything to me. So I did start crying on the line because I couldn't believe I was going to meet her. And I actually called friends and family to be like, I'm guaranteed to meet her. And everybody was freaking the fuck out because they all know that she's mother to me. She showed up at like 4 p.m., I think. I could be getting that wrong, but late afternoon. And we were all screaming, we were all freaking out. We could see her kind of a little bit through like the displays in the window. We were all kind of like this, all very excited. I could tell I was like with true blue Selena fans because we were all talking about like album deep cuts. So we were all super pumped. And the line starts moving, and the line starts moving really slowly, which we're all excited about because we're like, great, it's moving slowly. We'll get a moment with her. And that's all I really wanted was like just one moment to be like, you are, to quote Oprah, you are the sister I never had, the mother everybody would want, whatever she says.
She is the mother I never had. She is the sister everybody would want. She is the friend that everybody deserves. I don't know a better person.
That is like, I know it's stupid because she probably hears that like 100 times a day, but I also think there's something very significant. I would have been like, she was my first concert. She's the reason that I love music. She's like, do you know what I mean? She's very significant to me and has helped me through a lot of hard times in my life. And I just wanted to tell her, thank you so much for the way that you present yourself, for the way that you carry yourself with grace and poise and dignity. It means a lot and it inspires me. And so we're in, and finally when we get in the store, the line's still moving slow and I can see her now and I cry again because I can fully see her. And she's taking her time with each person. She's being like, oh my God, I love your jeans. Like if any of you know Selena, like are a fan also, you know that Selena loves her fans and would often go way over time on her meet and greets on tour because she just loves chatting with people and she loves her fans. So then she's taking her time and we're all like, yes, yes, yes. In between two fans, somebody goes up to her and is like, and they go up to the photographer and they're like, somebody who works at Coach. And then the line starts fucking moving fast. So it's like a person says two words to her, camera flashes next, and I'm like, fuck me. Because the other thing that was really frustrating is I was only like 10 people away from having like a full-on moment with her. I'm like, fuck me. So then the line really starts moving and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna have to like truncate what I was about to say and be like, blah, blah, blah. So then I'm like, I get up there, I give her a hug, I'm just like, I love you. You mean so much to me. Also, again, probably not articulate. I was like literally 16 years old. But I lose my train of thought because it's like now I've been really frazzled by the fact that it's moving so fast. And the camera flashes while we're talking. And Selena is so sweet. She's listening to me very attentively. The camera goes off and she turns to the photographer and she goes, yeah, no, we're going to do that again. I was gagged because they were going to try and shove me off the stage and not get a photo with her, just a photo of us talking. And she went, yeah, no, we're going to do that again. And she pulled me close and she posed for an actual photo. And so did I. And she gave me one more hug before I left. And it was very quick. So I did not get the moment with her that I was hoping for, but I still am like gagged to this day that she was like, yeah, no, bitch. Like, we're doing that again. I do think that she got annoyed because I did hear from another fan who met her a little bit after me that she actually like snapped a little bit at security and was like, guys, I have to be able to talk to them. Like, so I think that they were kind of like trying to pressure her into like photo next, and that's just not her style at all. So I do think, you know, it wasn't the moment that I hoped for, but it was through no fault of her own. She was really trying to give everyone a special moment. It just didn't pan out that way for me. And since then, I've gotten 2 or 3 selfies with her. I saw her at the stage door for Live with Kelly Michael. Didn't get to say a word to her because she was mobbed. I got a selfie with her outside in Only Murders in the Building Q&A. Didn't get to say a word to her, mobbed. And then I got a selfie with her outside the Late Show with Stephen Colbert. And I gave her actually a scrapbook because I was like, you know what? This moment that I keep waiting for is never coming. So I gave her a scrapbook with like all my memories. I have a picture of me. My old room when I was a kid had wizard's sheets and was plastered wall to wall with Selena Gomez Gomez posters, and I have a picture of me getting ready for my first concert with a tattoo of her on my face from J14 magazine, Wizard shirt, and my Selena is my pickle poster, which at one point my wall actually had so many Selena posters that I ended up taping them on my ceiling, which then I had to stop doing because they kept falling on me in my sleep. So yes, I gave her a scrapbook with all of these photos, like photos of me as a kid with my Selena Gomez shirts on, and I just wanted her to know that like I truly am a fan. She means a lot to me. Her transparency and her heart are something that have truly moved and inspired me my whole life. Hopefully she was able to read that scrapbook. I don't know if she ever read it, but if she did, she would know she is my mother and I love her. So it was disappointing to meet her, but not through any fault of her own. She was a doll. Hopefully someday I will get my actual moment where I can be like, Queen, let's talk. Now I'm going to talk about it, like switching gears a little bit from like kind of pop divas. Millie Bobby Brown is somebody that I met at a signing for her book, 19 Steps. I brought my little sister who loves her and loves Stranger Things. And it was another very quick meet and greet situation. But I will say, I was kind of gagged by like how casual and cool she was. Like she did a talk that we all went to before the meet and greet, like a talk for the book. And she was like, you know, makeup, snatched, hair, down to the nines. But then for the meet and greet, she had actually taken all of her makeup off and there was like a little mascara smeared under her eyes. Of course, if I did that, I would look like a hot tramp, but of course she has like a perfect face, so she looked stunning regardless. And her fiance at the time, now they're married, but her fiance at the time, John Bon Jovi's son Jake, was there, and they were like chit-chatting in between people that she would meet. And I like went up to her and I said, my family's British, so gag me down with this book. I did not say that, but I said something more articulate of that ilk, and she was sweet and was like, oh my god, yeah, I'm so excited for you to read it. And we took a picture and she was very nice. But I think the thing that really struck me the most about meeting her was just that it seemed like a very casual affair. It seemed like she didn't want this, like, I don't know what the word is, but she didn't have to like be all dolled up and like, it's not like meeting Christina Aguilera where she's like, you know, she like literally looks like the wax figure of herself. I thought it was very cool and charming that she had like her family in the room. And it was like kind of like you were going to meet her in her dressing room, basically. They're all like on couches. I remember when I was in there waiting to meet her, Jake was like, do you want to order pizza? Like it felt very casual and very familial. And I thought that that was really cool and probably just like how she likes to do things. I think when you're a child star, there's probably a lot of pressure to get swept up in this like crazy environment. And it seems to me that she's been immune from all that and she has a really good head on her shoulders. So it was a very quick meeting with Millie Bobby Brown, but I thought she was very charming and I liked the way that she conducts her business. Majorly switching gears now, I thought I'd talk about, I've met Adam Driver a few times. For those of you who don't know me personally, you may not know that I used to be a Star Wars super fan until The Rise of Skywalker came out and crushed all of my hopes and dreams. But I loved The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. Those to me are my favorite Star Wars movies, and that was like the characters that I really cared about and I was excited about. And I wish that J.J. Abrams hadn't taken a big stinky shit and then clapped his hands and called it a movie. But here we are. But yeah, I used to be like a Star Wars super fan before that movie came out. And Adam Driver was one of my favorite actors in it. I love Kylo Ren. I think he's such a tortured, like, incredible character. I love the idea of a redemption arc for Han and Leia's son. I think the idea of somebody who goes to the dark side and comes back. This is not a Star Wars video. Why am I getting into all this? The point is I met Adam Driver quite a few times. One of the times I met him was outside Good Morning America with my chums, with my with my security guard chums, and they literally were like, at the time I was 18 and they were like, girl, what are you doing here? It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I had ridden the train to Times Square at 3 o'clock in the morning to get there for 4 because I knew Adam Driver was going to be on and I really wanted to meet him. And they were like, girl, if you don't get out of here, like they were tired of me. They were really nice, but they were always like, do your parents know you're here? And I had to be like, yes, yes. But yeah, he came on and he walked in and we were all gagged down. It was like me and other Star Wars fans and graphers. And then he's coming out and he comes out to the barricade. And at the time I had a Rey phone case against, I was super into Star Wars. And he was like, nice phone case. And I was gagged because I'm like, Relo confirmation question mark? No, but I met him and I was like, I got a photo with, I shook his hand and I was like, nice to meet you. I'm Madeline. You know, I feel like with people who maybe aren't used to having like a fan base, like I feel like Ariana Grande and Selena Gomez are definitely people who are used to having fans being like, ah! But when it's like professional actors who are like not used to, you know, stands, I think it's better to shake their hand and introduce yourself and be like, hello, my name is Madeline. I am an admirer of your work. What I said was, at the time he was on Broadway doing Burn This, and I said, I'm coming to see the show on Thursday. I'm really excited. And he was like, oh, on Thursday, I'll see you there then. And we took a photo, and he was very, very nice. And then when he left, the security came up to me and was like, he was just going to walk to the car. And I'm the one who told him, there's a young lady out here who's been waiting since 4 o'clock in the morning. So he stopped because he couldn't believe that I'd been waiting that long. And so I would like to give a big you're welcome to everybody else who met him that day, because he wouldn't have stopped if he hadn't felt immense pity for my pathetic attempt to meet him. So you're welcome. But then on Thursday, I went to see the show and I went and did the stage door with some friends of mine. And when he got to me, he was like, I remember you. He was like, Good Morning America. And I was like, yeah, I was on the barricade at Good Morning America. He was like, yeah, I remember. You were all the way on the left. And then there's a video of me somewhere being like, because I literally couldn't believe it. I was like gagged down that I occupied even a small space in his brain. So I was really gagged, and he was very nice, and I think he's a lovely fellow. So that was a really great experience. And I think that if you're calm, relatively calm, and, you know, chilled a little bit, then it can be a fun experience to meet. My God. Every time I catch myself in the monitor, it's a jump scare. So then, just kind of following the Star Wars thread, the last person I'll talk about today is Mr. Oscar Isaac, king of Finpo Nation. I met Oscar Isaac at the Live with Kelly stage door, and I actually brought a poster for him to sign that said Finpo is Endgame. For those of you who think that I've just started speaking in tongues, Finpo is the fan name for the gay ship between Finn and Poe Dameron in the sequel trilogy of Star Wars. They are clearly in love and meant to be together forever, but obviously Disney will never allow gays to proliferate in their most prized moneymakers and franchises, so it's up to the fans to keep it alive. So I actually brought a sign that I had made that said Finpo is Endgame, and I wanted him to sign it. And Oscar Isaac has been very vocal that he is in full support of this union and thinks it would be a great idea, and has been very vocal about his frustration with Disney that they wouldn't follow that thread, given how obvious it is to everybody that they are very much made for each other. No, genuinely, they do have like romantic tension, and it's annoying that they can't follow it through just because they're boys. So I brought it, and he came out, and I was the first one on the barricade because, again, I'm a freak who got there early. And he came up to me and he saw the poster, and he was like, he read it. He was like, Finpo is Endgame. Yes, yes. And he was immediately super into it. And I asked him if he would sign it, and he did. But then I didn't see until we got a photo together of me and him in the sign, and I was beside myself. I was so happy and like dying in the moment. But then it wasn't until he left that I noticed that he wrote fully endorsed on it. So not only did he sign it, he wanted to clarify in case anybody misunderstood, thought I tricked him. He fully endorsed the messaging of my poster. And then what ended up being really cool is like other fans of Finpo were really excited about this, obviously. And a reporter from BuzzFeed News at the time reached out to me and actually wrote an article about the meeting, so I can link to that in the description below. But this was like breaking Star Wars news at the time, okay? Oscar Isaac had fully endorsed Finpo, so you're welcome for that like epic moment, gay Star Wars fans. Genuinely, he was such a nice guy, and it was such a wonderful experience. And I was like a teenage girl who obviously was like accosting him at work, being like, gay love in Star Wars, and he was very cool and he handled it with such grace and poise, and it's something that I probably wouldn't do now, but at the time I thought he was lovely and I was really happy to have met him. He was a lovely chap. I see that this video is about 40 minutes long, so I am going to stop talking now and end the video here. But if you guys enjoyed this video and want to hear like more stories of celebrities I've met, I can tell you I've met a lot of other people. I've met Lea Michele, I've met Camila Cabello, I've met, who else have I met? Now I can't remember anyone, so I'm not really helping my case. I've met Nick Jonas, I've met Demi Lovato, I've met Madison Beer, I've met, John Mulaney, like all sorts of celebrities. So if you guys would like another video, or if you would like a video of me talking about all the Bravo celebrities I've met so many of the Vanderpump Rules people, I've met so many Real Housewives. If you guys want to hear a little bit about that, I can do that as well. But yeah, thank you so much if you made it this far. I also want to give a massive shout out and say thank you so much for 500 subscribers. Just for context, 500 subscribers was my goal for a year from now, and I was able to get there in 2 months. So I really appreciate all of you who have put your faith in me and subscribed, because I really just want this to be a place where you guys can turn your brains off and relax and hopefully enjoy just some good content. So I really genuinely want to say thank you for everybody who's subscribed, because I can't even tell you, it's immeasurable the amount of gratitude that I have. So thank you very much. And I will keep pumping out I'll keep pumping out content and then you decide if it's good or not. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll be back next week. Let me know if you've met any of these people in the comments. I want to hear your experiences with them. And I also want to hear if you want to see another one of these videos. I have tons and tons more stories. So just let me know, and talk to you soon.